In this tutorial, I'm going to show you another way that you can use particles in Adobe After Effects to create transitions. Now, this effect is also working on, similar to a previous tutorial, that this effect will work on graphics, it'll also work on text. The same way it works with the previous tutorial, it's a matter of positioning masks, applying the particle effects to the mask, and basically animating the mask's motion as well as the particles. Now, I'd like to remind you guys that the particle effects in Adobe After Effects Standard are very limited on what they can do. You probably have discovered that if you've explored it a little bit. There's a plugin that can be purchased called Trapcode Particle. It's an expensive plugin, but it gives you a more variety and more effects that you can do with particles that After Effects in its standard form is limited. Now, rather than just going over and recreating this, I'm just going to kind of show you, since it's the same thing that we've done with the previous tutorial, the settings that we've done. So as you can see, we have a mask and we have a logo. On the mask is where I have my particles, CC Particle Systems 2. I animate the position of it. So as you can see, we animate the position of the particles so that they pass through. The particles will start on the outside and pass through the mask. We've also, in this particular one, so it looks like kind of fade in. I've had students describe it as it looks like the Energizer from Star Trek. But to create that effect is an opacity shift that's done in particles, where we start off on our keyframe at 100 and then it slowly fades away to nothing. So it's animating the position of the particles, the beginning of the animation to where they end. And it's usually best to start it to the outside and end it on the outside. I'm using Fractal Explosive, and you can subtly adjust it however you want. The default line particle, which is pretty much, like I said, with this limiting one, line is pretty much, and star are pretty much the only ones that are really kind of worth anything to work with. But also, I've changed the birth color and the death color to the background. And that's really kind of critical. It's so that the sparks, when they're coming in, they will help create that illusion that it's coming in from nothing, which is the color of the background. So I've matched the birth color of the particles and the death color to that, so that it helps create that illusion that it's coming in from nothing, the background. The text that I'm going to use, I'm using very basic traps, which is an opacity, so that it fades in. And you can see right there on the tutorial there, you can see how the particles, I've got the layer turned off, the particles will pass over it. But because I've set the birth rate and death rate of the particles to the background color, it's going to look like it fades in, thanks to how fast the particles generate, how dense they generate, and then fade out. And it's synced up to when the logo starts from nothing and then comes in. Which creates the illusion of this kind of spark, snow, or transporter effect, so that it looks like the logo comes in from nothing. And this is another feature that you can use to create transitions using particles in After Effects.